imagine this. If you write a word in English, and let's say you call it elevator, and then in another place you write lift.
Lift, yeah.
Okay? Two different words,
It's the same
but they
meaning.
point to the same thing. So even though the word is different, the spellings are different, all of that, but we know. So we look. No Muslims will say we have more than one Quran or different variants of the
that's not
Quran.
even
We say we have different modal recitations.
I create a dream world, and in that world there are trees. In that dream world there are trees, there are plants, there are buildings, there are people, there's everything.
Yeah.
It looks there's a multiplicity of so many things, and I, as the dreamer, I'm behind all of this. I'm the one who's projecting all of this, right?
And you can see even yourself from the side.
Yeah. I can see there are lots of things.
Yeah, but that's still a dream, right?
Yeah, it's a dream. That's why I'm saying what kind of creation it is.
No, a dream. Look, we need to, as people who are, we have rational and cognitive understanding. You need to separate the real world from a dream world, because the two are not the same.
Because when you are in the dream itself,
Yeah.
within the dream, it looks
don't
like
realize
it looks very real, right?
Yeah.
Even if it looks real, the problem is this: we need to distinguish between reality and
what
something
I'm
which is
saying,
a dream.
How do we know in the first place what kind of creation this is at the moment?
Okay.
If we know that this is this is not some kind of a projection of the mind or something like that, if you can definitely make that case.
No, but that's the thing. Look, let me ask you this question.
No, what I'm saying is just let me out.
You're talking about
in my dream, for example, I'm creating so many things, but actually it is all my mind. It is
exactly. It's not real.
It is me who's everything. So when I'm saying that when you say God cannot become His creation, it depends on what kind of creation it is. So if it's
Real
like
creation.
If it's a projection.
What's your name, brother?
My name is Gaurav.
Gaurav? Okay, my name is Hashim. Gaurav, look, if you're projecting something which is not real, can you distinguish the reality from the projection?
If I'm projecting something that's not real, can I distinguish? In the moment when I'm in that mode.
Okay, so
when I'm in the dream,
listen. When you're sleeping, then you can't. But when you're awake, can you distinguish between the reality and the dream? Okay, very good. So, in other words, you do distinguish between what is real and what is.
Not when I'm in the dream.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
If this life.
No, listen. Your whole life, you're not dreaming, are you?
You don't know because
But what do you mean you don't know?
So for example, right now we don't.
Are you dreaming right now?
I'm not saying whose dream is this. We have to answer that.
Yeah, because I know where you're coming from. You're coming from the Hindu background about Leela, right?
Yeah, but
bro, I have studied Hinduism, so I know where you're coming from. You're talking about Brahman is the one who's creating all this Leela.
That's also that, or it can be the Buddhist idea of the world not being as it looks like. So seeing beyond the illusion of.
So this illusion, look, we need to distinguish for the sake of our, brevity and our mentality. We have to distinguish between something that's an illusion and something that is real. So unless you're telling me there is no such thing as reality, then you're living in a delusional state. Do you see what I mean? And this is not as illusion and delusion. There is a fine line. Okay?
I do think there is a
because illusion and delusion neither are real. Do you agree?
Yeah, delusion. So illusion is something that appears to be. It's not that. So for example,
if it appears to be, then it can't be real.
So so for example,
imagine that cloud. Let's say it appears like an elephant. Is the cloud really an elephant?
No.
Good. So you're seeing an illusion of an elephant.
Yeah, same thing like for example in a desert, you see water.
Yeah, mirage. So the mirage is also not real. And that's why I'm telling you, for our brevity, for our sanity, we need to distinguish between the two. Between something that is a mirage, between something that is a vision, something that is an illusion. Yes?
How do we do it?
How do we do it? Because we as human beings distinguish between a vision and between reality.
How do we know that this thing right now, we are like we're talking, is not some kind of projection we're talking? That's what I'm saying. How do we distinguish? Like when you are in the dream, it's very hard to distinguish.
Because the default is when you go to sleep, you see a dream. But when you're awake, do you know you're awake?
It can be a dream within a dream.
No, it's not a dream within a dream.
But how do we know that?
Because the whole world knows it. Except for some people who are delusional, they think that all of this is just an illusion.
Well, to be honest, like if you have, for example, a desert, most people will see water, right?
Yeah.
And everyone will.
And then what happens?
Most of them.
No. What happens then?
Chasing it, and you still see the water.
Yeah. And then what happens? Eventually they say that this is not real, right? Eventually they come to their sanity, and they realize that is not real. That's why we call it a mirage. Why do we call it a mirage? Because it's not real. Do you understand? So human beings, listen, wait, Gaurav, just 1 second. Generally, majority of the human beings are not delusional. They see, no, it's not an assumption.
I don't say delusion is like a kind of a negative word. What I'm saying is...
No, delusion when you perceive something which is not real.
I think, like a lot of people, when they see, a lot of people can see the same illusion and agree that I am seeing water, right? And they can be deluded in that sense, but not in I'm not using it in a negative.
So imagine this: 10 people are there. Okay, let's see, one person sees that the mirage and he says this is water. Another person, he has been living in the desert long time. He knows that this is not real, and he tells the other person that what you're seeing is an illusion and not reality. Because if you go near it, it will disappear. Or it might go a bit further. And you keep chasing it, you're chasing an illusion. And you'll never be able to catch up.
Isn't that how...
Why would you take... Listen.
You keep chasing it.
Yeah.
You keep chasing it, trying to find something in it, find reality in it. But there is actually no substance to it.
Yeah, that's because you're deluded that is real. But the other person...
Even in this world, I'm saying...
Listen, I'm answering that question. Even that person who has been living in the desert long time, and he knows that this is an illusion, he will tell the other person, bro, you're deluded if you keep chasing it. So most of the human beings, they understand reality. The reason Hindus use this Leela and this illusion thing, I think this is some sort of for them to get their own people confused. That's the reason most Hindus, they do not follow the Advaita teaching, okay? Where everything, the oneness. Do you know what is Advaita, right? Okay, so you're coming from that background. Is that right?
Yeah.
Good.
It's not that I believe in Advaita or anything. What
you do actually, based on your what you're saying to me.
As a possibility. I'm not saying...
You know why most Hindus have actually rejected Advaita? The majority of it reject Advaita because... No, it's not. Even the people who claim that they have got, they have understood oneness, even they themselves at one point, later on, they started worshipping the idols that they were worshipping before.
No, I think that's a different, there's a different explanation to that as well. So for example, when you are in the, so when they say it's an illusion, there is something called Dawahwise, which is like day-to-day kind of a truth. So for example, I'm seeing you are Hashim, I'm Gaurav. Okay, so we are talking. But behind this, I know is just oneness. But that doesn't mean that I stop eating now for a practical purpose. So there's like a practical...
Why does it need to be practical for an illusion?
It doesn't have to be.
So can you survive without food?
No.
Why?
So in this... So
no, why you cannot survive without
for
food?
Example, I'll give you an example.
Because you're not an illusion.
No.
You're real.
No. Even in my dream, for example, if I stand in front of let's say a lion, I'm going to run, right?
Why?
Yeah, because in my dream I don't realize it's a dream, right? It feels really real, right? So for example, similarly in this world,
Can I say something?
It feels really real.
Look, when you are standing in front of a lion, let's say in your dream.
But by the way, this was not what I intended to discuss. This is just like because we
an idea,
went into what kind of
But
creation
listen, talking about this, imagine you are...
I just had a few questions which I wanted to ask.
No problem. If you are standing in front of a lion in your dream, can you say the dream is what? Is the projection of your brain. Yeah. That's what brain does. It keeps thinking. Brain has no rest. Even when you sleep, it's still thinking and it projects all those kind of things and stuff. So imagine you are in front of a lion. What is the course of action? Run, right? And you run. But your brain knows that lion runs faster than you. So he's going to get you eventually. And he gets you.
He's going to wake up in the dream.
Thank you very much. So
from the dream.
Number one, nothing happens even if he gets you. Number two, somehow lion disappears. And then you question yourself, wait a minute. Lion's supposed to kill me, but he's gone. That means this is not real. Now try to do the same here.
When the lion comes here, I will run similarly. He will probably eat me or whatever, I'll die. But I don't know what happens beyond that. Do you understand what
You know why this doesn't work? Yeah, just 1 second, brother. Do you know why this?
I don't believe in all of this.
Yeah, that's fine. Gaurav, listen. You know why Advaita doesn't work? I'll tell you why. According to Advaita, everything is an illusion, but they also believe that ignorance exists. Yeah? They believe ignorance exists. And they believe Brahman is the only reality. Am I right?
Yeah, they say Brahman is the only reality.
So if Brahman is the only reality, and if ignorance is also reality,
they don't say ignorance is a reality.
then how is the world ignorant?
Yeah, so illusion is exactly that, right?
But you said, hold on, if ignorance doesn't exist, there wouldn't be illusion, is there? The reason there is illusion, according to the Advaita, is because of the ignorance.
Ignorance is also inside the paradigm of...
No, that doesn't work.
No.
Listen.
So for example...
First you need to answer this question. Is
ignorance is not on the same...
Gaurav, please, just answer this question. An illusion is not the ultimate reality. Do you agree?
Yeah. It's not the
what is the ultimate reality? Brahman.
In there, yeah.
Yeah. Brahman is the ultimate reality. Now the question is, within this ultimate reality, does ignorance exist?
Within it, like at the ultimate level.
Within the ultimate reality, does ignorance exist?
We don't talk within in that, right?
Why not? Why not? Because if there's only one ultimate reality, and that is a Brahmin,
dimensions come.
Regardless of dimensions, if there is only one ultimate reality, the absolute reality is Brahman.
Existence itself.
Yes, existence itself.
Pure existence.
Now the question is this: does, in this absolute existence, does ignorance exist?
Inside it?
Regardless where. Does it exist in reality, not as an illusion, but as absolute reality? Does it exist?
As an absolute reality.
So ignorance doesn't exist?
As an absolute reality.
Yeah. If ignorance doesn't exist, then illusion shouldn't exist. Because they both are related, do you know? The reason these people, listen, the reason the people who are not enlightened, the reason they cannot see this oneness, they see illusion, is because of the ignorance. But if the ignorance itself didn't exist, then there wouldn't be illusion.
So this is exactly with the dream example. So
it's a bad example, dream. Because in this, the dream is because of the ignorance.
No.
Do you agree?
Sorry?
The dream is predicated because of the ignorance.
Ignorance of who?
Like the reason you see everything as an illusion is because of you don't have the knowledge of this oneness. You haven't yet attained moksha. You haven't attained nirvana.
So I'll tell you. So these analogies, for example, the dream analogy and all of these analogies. These are analogies. These are not like this is exactly how it is.
It's not an analogy.
No, it is an analogy.
For them, it's a belief.
No.
For them, the belief is that until you attain.
So they use what they do.
Gaurav, they say until you attain moksha, you will continue living in this cycle of birth and rebirth. Yes? And the reason you're doing that is because you haven't attained moksha yet. But once you attain moksha, then this illusion will disappear. Do you agree?
No, at the ultimate level, there is no illusion.
My point exactly. But in order to realize that, you have to attain moksha. You have to attain nirvana.
Who attains nirvana? That's
the one who is enlightened.
So this is very...
I don't understand why you don't understand this simple point.
No,
it's a very simple point.
What happens is sometimes when that's why I said Advaita is not very popular, because sometimes what people do is they switch between the absolute reality and start applying those to the transaction reality, and they go back and forth.
I did not apply. That's the reason I asked you. Does ignorance exist?
I said at the ultimate level, no.
Okay, so if ignorance doesn't exist, then how can you experience illusion? I don't understand.
I mean, I'm not even an Advaita proponent, but because I've studied it, because I know what they say and how they explain this. So I don't know, but this has gone to Advaita, which is not even my actual position or anything, because I don't really have...
So do you reject that Advaita position?
No, I'm open to everything, but I know what...
No, look. There's hold on. Just now you said many times, I don't hold this position.
Yeah.
Good?
Because
so when you don't...
into Advaita.
No, when you say you don't hold the position, then the position you hold is of duality, not oneness.
No, I'm saying...
It's Dwaita, not Advaita. That is what you follow. So either you make up your mind, do you follow oneness, Advaita, or do you follow duality, which is Dwaita?
Advaita doesn't deny Advaita. They said Advaita is not...
Sorry, Advaita doesn't deny what?
Advaita doesn't deny Advaita.
Of course it does. It's the complete opposite.
No, I'll tell you what it is.
Yeah.
So they deny it at an absolute level, but they don't deny it at a transaction level. And then they gave this analogy, and this is not a belief, this is an analogy. So they give many analogies to try to break through this illusion. So they give the example of a pot, they give an example of dreamer and dreamer's mind. There are many analogies they use. So
They use also ignorance.
yeah. So if you hear me out for this one, so they use the dream analogy.
Avidya. Yeah?
Avidya. So
Avidya is there or not?
at an ultimate level, no.
So how do people then experience the
Because
Leela?
Because they are not real.
Yeah, but in order for you to experience that, you must have the ignorance. I don't understand.
A non-real thing is
Anyway, like you said, it's not your field, so let's leave it there. What was your question you wanted to ask?
My question was just basically regarding Islam, because I'm reading about various things.
What have you read so far about Islam?
I've read the basics, like the 5 pillars of Islam, and the,
You know, one of the main things that Islam posits is not to worship like idols. But Hinduism is mainly based on idolatry, which is the practice of majority of the Hindus. Not all, but majority of them.
I agree with you to a huge extent here. I do think 90%, or maybe even more than 90% of Hindus do a lot of things without actually reading their scriptures or maybe understanding the philosophy behind it, or most of them are not even.
Do you consider idolatry to be wrong?
Again, I mean, yeah, I don't do it. If you ask me, I don't do it. I don't go and worship.
Why don't you worship an idol?
Because I do think idolatry is not like the ultimate aim in Hinduism itself. So what they do is they say, okay, eventually the God you believe in is one God, but it's like a step towards reaching that.
Why?
For me personally, it doesn't make sense. I think
Why would you start with a step that is falsehood?
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense at all. Isn't it? It's falsehood.
That's why I don't do it. That's why I don't do it.
And by the way, you know,
I try to see perspective. So that even if I don't do it, I try to see their perspective. What I say
So
is
from their
there
perspective,
are certain types of people. It's very hard for them. That's what they say, and I can sort of understand what they are saying, but I personally don't do that. So they say they are at such a lower level of understanding of God and all of this. They need something to bow down to get out of the sense of this ego that I am something. So it's the first step towards breaking that ego that there's something bigger than you.
yeah, but that's falsehood. How can even if they wanted to focus on an idol or a man-made thing, that step itself is wrong, because you know that God doesn't look like that.
If you stop at that step, if you say this is the step, this is
No,
where
but
you stop.
not stop. If you start with that step, that itself is false.
So
That itself is wrong.
So, for example, when you go to school, they don't teach you. For example, theory of relativity straight away. They teach you Newtonian physics.
It's not about the level of knowledge. It's about
They do say that.
listen. It's about the object of worship.
Yeah.
You know that is not God, and then if you worship it as a form of God.
So when you say that it is not God, so it's not that ultimate God, but
It's not any God. Forget about ultimate God.
In the dream paradigm, for example, again. So that's why these paradigms they talk about. In the dream paradigm, there are lots of things your
He's
mind
gone
is
back to the
projecting.
dream.
Yeah.
Bro, that dream thing is really a moot point here. You know why? Because even in a dream, if you were a believer in God, you wouldn't be worshipping an idol.
I mean, in the dream, for example, if I'm in my dream, right? I'm one of the subjects of the dream, and there are others. For example, my dream, you're there, he's there, everyone's there. Okay, so let's say I bow down to you. Did I bow down to Hashim in reality, or did I bow down to a projection in my mind of myself that I'm projecting? So there was no worship.
So whom were you, Bang?
Can I say something here? You see, in whatever reality you are,
by the way, this is because we went into that thing. I had a question
that's fine. That's fine.
So if you can,
but in whatever reality, whatever circumstances you are, there are certain laws according to which the reality exists and functions.
Yeah.
Do you agree? Now imagine the reality world, wherever you are, function and follows the certain laws that are consistent. And whatever you do, they always bring the same result. Number one. Number two, they are all,
كيف حالك حبيبي؟ Long time. Been good?
Logic is there.
Yeah.
Physics, for example.
I cooked him just now.
Huh?
I cooked him.
Oh, you talked to him?
Yeah.
no, what I'm saying
You know,
is,
he's
look,
desperate to speak to the.
I know. He wants contact.
Brother
yeah,
Adnan
forget
Rashid.
about him.
Oh,
He's
not
not
yet.
talking to about you.
No, I'm not allowing that. You know why I came?
The idea
Because
is
of him, they told me.
Oh, is it okay?
Number
So
one,
he's here.
the reality or the dream, let's say,
Yeah, we are
Face Siraj.
how to distinguish between them. Reality is the reality. In the reality, as we said, there are certain laws, and the whole universe follows a certain laws.
okay.
Let's say physics, math, whatever. Certain laws
I think
are.
even in physics, for example, when we say there are
Can I
laws.
finish?
I'm sorry. Sorry about
So, one, there are certain laws that the reality has to finish. Number two, in that reality, billions of objects like you, me, others, okay, would live according to that laws, and those laws will apply to them, to their existence, to the way they communicate, not only communicate, but are in touch with the reality and everything around it. Okay, that's number two. Number three, let's say.
Why did we come back to this?
No. He started to speak about it, so I wanted to put end to it. Not go back
We want to
the
put an
dream
end to
again.
idolatry.
That's fine. I just had a few questions, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
Because I need to go back tomorrow. I'm a teacher. I have to. It's my first day in London. I'm new to London.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. Where do you live?
Please, let's hear
I come
you.
from Birmingham.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna live in London now for some time.
You should move to London. Good idea. There's more happening here. Though the food might be good in
I've
Birmingham.
seen you guys on YouTube
Yeah.
before, so it's,
You know, we debate with Hindus
Yeah.
on Thursdays. And we have dealt with this Advaita, Dwaita, everything.
So I really consider you guys like knowledgeable in these things. That's why I'm talking to you
Okay.
guys. There are certain things I just wanted to ask from an Islamic thing, and I don't want to debate because I do think debates.
No, that's fine. Tell me what your question is. No problem.
So, for example, there was this thing going on, I think, with Bob Logic and these people about the variants of the Quran. Because I have followed a lot of philosophies, including Islam, for some time. I do think when they talk about variants and all of this, I think somewhere down the line, it is some of the callers to Islam who made this. For example, I used to watch Ahmed Deedat and all these people who made this thing that there is absolutely word to word exactly the same Quran everywhere in the world. I think that was a mistake which many people grabbed onto, which is traditionally what not Islamic scholars said. Traditionally, Islamic scholars knew about the variants and everything, and it was
By the way, they are not variants.
variants in the sense I'm using the English word there.
No, but they are not variants. I'll tell you why. Because the term variant, Qur'ans, creates a different picture.
Yeah, I know
So
that, I know that.
it is basically like one Quran with different qira'at, different recitations. And all of them, the origin is there from Allah, from the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
Because I've read the book.
So when imagine this, if you write a word in English, and let's say you call it elevator, and then in another place you write lift.
Lift, yeah.
Okay, two different words,
It's the same
but they
meaning.
point to the same thing. So even though the word is different, the spellings are different, all of that, but we know. So we look. No Muslims will say we have more than one Quran or different variants of the
that's not
Quran.
even
We say we have different modal recitations.
The modern Dawah thing, the Dawah scene, modern Dawah scene, which started roughly from Ahmed Deedat on.
In English, yeah.
In English, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
We had Dawah from the time of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
And even like the books, traditional Islamic books of scholars, they were discussing the ahruf of the
Yeah.
Quran, and it's like an open thing. It's not
Yeah,
like a
absolutely.
secret or anything.
Yeah.
I think the modern Dai is like Ahmed Deedat when they were debating Christians. They were like, there is only this one, and you go to any part of the world, it's exactly word to word, letter by
Yeah,
letter,
it's true.
exactly the same.
So if you look at, for example, majority of the world, they read the Hafs Quran.
Yeah, but that's
Hear me out,
all
hear
of
me
it,
out.
yeah.
Hear me. Hafs Quran, majority of the
it's
world.
exactly the
So when you talk about this recitation of the Quran, then it is the same, letter to letter, word to word.
But
Okay?
that's not the claim they used to make. They said there is just exactly They didn't even talk about proof or anything, even though it doesn't make any difference to Islamic theology in that sense.
Yeah.
It was very easy to say, see, okay, you guys have got manuscripts with contradictions in them, with whole chapters missing.
So you understand that?
Yeah, I understand that.
the Bible, yeah.
What I'm saying is these guys, like God Logic and the thing they have caught on to is some of the Dawah, they used to say, letter by letter, everything exactly, everywhere. So, for example, فَتَبَيَّنُوا فَتَثَبَّتُوا. So there are sometimes min is there, min is not there, sometimes there are words.
In the context, it makes...
So that was not clear in what they were saying when they were proper.
But you see, most of these people, like the Christian apologists, yeah, doesn't matter who they are, they themselves do not understand the most basic thing about the Quran even, let alone the harf and the verse. They don't know the ABC of that language. How can you debate something when you don't even know the ABC of the language? It's like me asking you that if you didn't know English, can you give a review of Shakespeare? Yeah, it's basically like asking that. So these people, they come with this, catchphrases like, different versions of the Quran. This only exposes the ignorance. Because you see, like you said, the Muslims knew about this long time ago. In fact, we have clear hadiths about this. Two different companions reading two different qirats.
In my understanding of this, I think certain followers to Islam gave them a stick, basically. Maybe not deliberately, of course not deliberately, but in saying that, comparing it with the Bible, they should have made this distinction very clear. We are not saying we want exactly word to word the same Bibles everywhere. We want Bibles which are completely consistent with each other in their meaning, and the chapters are not missing altogether. They are not contradicting each other. Yeah. That's the kind of thing we are talking about. Rather than that, what it became was that, you've got the New International Version and you've got this version, and here the word is this, whereas the word in that is that, which doesn't basically change a whole lot of things within the...
You know why you cannot apply to the Bible? I'll tell you why. Unlike the Quran, the Bible doesn't have the original language. So even if you write it in English or write it in Tamil or whatever language you write it in, the translation, they cannot go back. The earliest they can go back is the Greek. But the Greek came much later. For the first 100 years, they have 0 manuscripts of the Bible. And Jesus used to teach in Arabic. And he used to, teach in Arabic, and he used to always mention things in Arabic.
Blur me, please,
Yeah, make sure you blur it. Yeah. Okay, so they used to teach in Arabic. The Prophet ﷺ used to teach in Arabic, and we still have the Quran in Arabic. So even if you translate it into English or some other language, we can always fall back. Even if somebody created a false Quran and the Orientalists and all, they tried it, but they failed. Why? Because even our kids have memorized the Quran, and they will cast the mistake like that. So we have a perfect mode of transmission, both oral and written. And the most important thing, in the original language. The reason the Christians are adamant about showing these different versions of the Quran when they are not versions, when there's just different modes of recitation, okay, the Qiraat. The reason they want to show is that because they have no argument.
I do think,
or how they have no defense against their own scripture because they don't have the original from the language either.
I completely understand they're doing it out of desperation. But what I do want to say is, I think it's a responsibility on certain followers of Islam to clarify this, that some of our du'at were not really careful with this thing. If this is made clear, that they themselves were not really experts of the various readings of the Quran. So if this point is made clear, basically you've taken away the thing they have against in a sense. They're using things basically which, for example, I lived with Muslims in India for a very, very long time. That's my exposure to Arabic and the Quran and all of that.
Really? Which part of India are you from?
I'm from the north, but I lived in all different parts.
Where, Delhi?
I went to Hyderabad, I was in Chennai, I was in many parts.
You're from Kashmir?
I'm from Uttarakhand, actually.
Oh, they have...
Which is near Nepal border.
Oh, yes. So yeah, I mean, look, our scholars, there are certain things that they discuss amongst people of knowledge. Because even in Christianity, everything is not, taught to everyone. It's only those people. So if I were to ask you what's the difference between, a person who believes that Jesus is not fully human, a monophysite, and the diphysite or something like that. or miaphysite. They have different terminologies. So the people of knowledge, they will understand what these things are. And it's not for everyone to know. There are certain things. But whenever Muslims, when they ask the scholars, they will clarify it for them. Very simple.
What I was saying was like the general Muslim population. For example,
Yeah.
even in India, if I tell people that there is a reading of the Quran in Africa, for example, where this word is read
Yeah,
like this,
the wash,
or there is this word comes before that, and that one comes after, which is called taqdeem.
Yeah, it's possible the lay people might not know.
They don't know
Because they don't need to know.
And no, that's fine, which is completely fine. But what has happened is, due to the certain exposure to Islamic Dawah channels, they have this concrete view that what they have is exactly what everyone reads exactly like that.
And that's the reason Islam has encouraged for one to seek knowledge. Yeah? If they want to, look, if a Muslim lives his entire life knowing only one recitation, let's say the Hafs recitation, which is the most prominent one, then there's nothing wrong in that. Because he's not going against any of the doctrines.
Theologically, nothing changes.
Exactly,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe certain.
Okay, so that's one question. You got a fair point there. That, but the thing, like I said to you, there are certain things which, for the lay people, is not necessary sometimes.
Lay people don't have to be exposed to all technicalities and everything.
Yeah.
But I do believe that people who are spreading the word, they also have a responsibility of not reinforcing certain things in the minds of people. Because what happens is, like for example, when these people come along, sometimes the general public will get confused. They're like, what is this? They're showing different things, and they're showing the world is different, and suddenly the guy.
And that's the reason, like I said, it's important for every Muslim to acquire knowledge. If they don't know something, what does the Quran say? Ask the people of knowledge. And that's simple as that.